Hey everyone, welcome to today's video where we will be delving into all the secrets of how to make your Shopify store not just successful, but also sellable. I've worked with hundreds of Shopify brands over the last 4 years, and there are a few things that I've personally seen that could really help increase the valuation of your Shopify brand. So if you have a Shopify store and you want to increase its valuation and unlock the true worth of your business to eventually sell, then this video is for you. Before we begin, if you are brand new and would like to get started on Shopify, we have an exclusive link down below where you can get a free trial and your first month for just $1. We also have a ton of other useful e-commerce tools linked down below, which are all affiliate links, so we do receive a referral fee for each one. This is how we are able to keep our videos free for you. All right, let's get right into it. First, let's talk about how you would even begin to calculate the valuation of your business. You won't know how far away you are from your goal without knowing where you're currently at. It's not just about slapping a price tag on your business. It's truly a nuanced process that brings in various factors to determine the value of your business. From assets to processes to financials and profitability, there's a lot that goes into calculating the value of your Shopify brand. While sellers often have their eye on the future, buyers are typically looking in the here and now. They're going to want to see solid historical data, current performance metrics, and a realistic projection for the future. It's all about finding that delicate balance between past achievements and future potential. Now, let's talk about how valuation works and the formulas that will be used to come up with the valuation of your brand. At its core, valuation is a simple formula. Your business valuation is typically your profit, EBITDA, or your STE multiplied by an industry standard. I'm sure you're wondering, what do those terms even mean? Well, EBITDA is typically your earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization. It's basically your earnings before factoring in your expenses. On the other hand, SDE, seller discretionary earnings, is typically what the owner has left after all their expenses. SDE is going to be particularly important for those brands that don't really have any physical assets. So let me walk you through an example of how we would figure out the valuation of your brand. First, you're going to want to take a look at the average 3 years of financial data that you have on hand. You're going to come up with either your EBITDA or your SDE from those 3 years of financial data. Next, you're going to find out what the industry multiple is for your specific industry. I typically like to use various sites to be able to come up with an average industry multiple. One site that can be used is Eval.tech, and they allow for you to look up your industry multiple for EBITDA using your industry. Another great site is BizBuySell, and these allow for you to look up your multiples by industry as well for SDE. Let's use an apparel brand that has an SDE of $200,000 a year. We would find our industry multiple via BizBuySell by scrolling down and looking for the average revenue and earnings multiplies by industry. So there is several different industries we can look at here. We can look at the clothing and accessories store, which has an earnings multiple of 2.23, and we have a website and e-commerce business multiple of 3.26. For the purpose of this video, we will be using the website and e-commerce business multiple. So let's say your SDE is $200,000 a year and you're using a multiple of 3.26. That amounts to a valuation of $652,000, which is what you can technically attempt to sell your brand for. But there will be a lot of other factors that come into play when looking at the valuation of your brand, which is what I also want to discuss today. I'd like to talk a little bit about a specific brand that an acquisition company I worked for purchased. This brand was doing great in the men's grooming space. They were bringing in hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, and they had a very loyal customer base. The brand owner was heavily involved in the brand itself. He was the face of the business, he wrote the email campaigns, and he was all over the social media. When we purchased this brand, we were aware that we would lose a lot of the customer base when they realized that the owner was no longer a part of this brand. This significantly decreased the valuation of the brand itself during the purchase process. And this is why I recommend you remove yourself as the face of the business. Consider phasing in a mascot or an avatar that can stay with the brand long after you exit. Let's move on to another scenario. Imagine that you've now exited your business and you would like to walk away and, I don't know, travel the world. However, the new owner is unable to let you do that and has actually put in the contracts that you must stay and train not only him, but also his team members. This can keep you in your business long after you exit, especially when you don't have the right SOPs in place. Standard operating procedures will be the most crucial part of keeping your business alive, scaling it, but also when you exit. Your standard operating procedures offer detailed guidelines on how to carry out specific tasks and operations. A solid set of SOPs will dramatically increase your business's valuation. It demonstrates that your operation has streamlined processes and has minimized inefficiencies. Investors will be looking to see if you have SOPs in place so that they can minimize their risks when they take on the business. They'll be able to not only train themselves, but train their team members and scale your business accordingly. Which leads me to my next point. No new owner is going to want to spend 40, 50 hours within your business. They are acquiring a new business in hopes that it brings them profit without the effort that it took to get there. When an owner can prove that their business requires little time, it automatically becomes more valuable. So focus your time on working on the business rather than in. Set a standard and a workflow in place that allows you more flexibility and start growing your team with that in mind. You want to make sure that your team can handle the business without you there all the time. And since we're on the topic of teams, let's discuss them. The amount of employees you have is super important as well. Your team, who they are, how many there are, where they're located, all matters. The fewer employees a business has, the more dependent that business is on them. If a team member or two leaves during the acquisition phase, that is going to require that the investor puts in a lot of time and money into hiring and training, which they typically don't want to do. On the other hand, too many employees can also signal a red flag to investors. They may associate this with high costs, too much turnover, or inefficiencies between these team members. If you are looking to grow your team, I want to highly recommend using a site like Paired. At Paired, you can hire top talent at a fraction of the cost. They are able to match you with the top 1% of talent within your niche that you're looking for. They are able to pair you with talent within the marketing and creative departments, content creation, business roles, engineering and tech, executive roles, and sales roles. What I love about Pair is that while they may find you that talent overseas, you are actually providing a great life for someone in another country. When you are paying them the US dollar, they are now able to provide for their families in ways that they have never been able to before. I have had personal experience working with staff overseas, and I can honestly tell you that they are hard workers. They appreciate the amount of money that they are being given. I have had personal experience hiring from the Philippines, Pakistan, and India, and I can say that they are very loyal and hard workers. They appreciate pay rate they're getting, and I've known some that were able to build homes, buy cars, and send their kids to private schools. This is why I love using brands like Paired, so that I can not only help someone else, but also grow my business at a fraction of the cost. Since we're talking about growing our business, I want to talk about marketing. While marketing is not part of any valuation formula, a great marketing strategy can increase the valuation of your brand. All businesses need a continual flow of customers in order to stay profitable. Investors will make more money if the business already has a process to bring in customers continuously. And this is where email marketing comes in. Email marketing tools such as ActiveCampaign and ConvertKit can really assist you with growing your email list and nurturing those customers. Right now, we are offering our viewers access to both of these tools with a 14-day free trial. You can check out the links below and sign up with no credit card required. Our acquisition company considered profitable email list like gold. It's super important to start collecting those emails, nurturing your lists, and also maintaining those lists and keeping them up to date. And while we're on the topic of the relationships with your customers, I want to also touch base on the relationships you have with your manufacturers and vendors. Your manufacturers and vendors are the backbone of your business. You're going to want to continuously nurture those relationships so that when it is time to exit, you're able to pass these connections on to the investor. Some things a buyer may ask you during the selling phase is if you have any exclusivity deals with your manufacturers or if your vendors are willing to work with someone new. They will also be looking at the contracts you have with these manufacturers and vendors to ensure that you are maximizing your profits. So it may be a good idea to review this yourself on a quarterly basis so you can stay up to date as well. And last but not least, let's talk about your brand's profitability. There are 3 key points I'd like to cover, and the first is your average order value. It's important to increase your average order value over time, which can be done with things like using an upsell app to add more products to your customer's cart. Subscription model sites are also highly sought after as they are a multi-recurring revenue operation. It's a predictable source of income that investors love to see. So as you grow your brand, just think about how you can offer a subscription type service to your customers along with your normal products. And lastly, the lifetime value of your customer is going to be super important for investors. A high CLV is an indicator of brand loyalty, a market fit, and recurring revenue from existing customers. Investors love to see that customers come back again and again for your brand. And there you have it, my secrets to making your Shopify store not only successful, but also sellable. Understanding how investors come up with the valuation of your brand can truly help you strategize now on how to grow your brand so that it could sell well in the future. And again, if you're new here and you haven't started on Shopify yet, we have a special exclusive deal linked down below where you can get started for free and your first month for just $1. There's no credit card required and there's a money back guarantee, so it's essentially zero risk for you. Also, be sure to check out all the links below to our favorite e-commerce tools. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe below as that helps me make more videos for you. Have fun growing your brand. Bye.